Well, everybody, this is Gary. Today is September 25th, 2021. It's 7:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Rochester, New York, in the United States. And this is my coping with schizophrenia blog entry for today. Um, right now, I'm doing okay. I just took my night medications. I'll probably get tired real soon, even though it's kind of early. I'll probably fall asleep early. But I just wanted to do a quick update. I'm back trying to quit smoking cigarettes. I haven't had a cigarette since Friday, I believe it was, and I've been using nicotine lozenges, which are sort of like nicotine gum, except instead of chewing the gum, you let the nicotine lozenges dissolve in your mouth. And it takes about a half hour for each lozenge to dissolve. I've been trying to quit smoking cigarettes on and off for the past 2.5 months. The longest I went without a cigarette was about 4.5 weeks. And I'm making another attempt at quitting smoking because I've been to my doctor. I went to the cardiologist. My heart is in pretty good condition, despite the fact that I've been smoking cigarettes for about 35 years. My heart's in remarkably good condition. My lungs, on the other hand, have some damage, and I don't want to make that damage any worse. Right now, I don't need to be on oxygen or anything like that. I'm turning 56 on October 15th, which is in about 2.5 weeks. I don't want to spend the rest of my life on an oxygen tank. So I have some real motivation to quit smoking cigarettes. Of course, the problem with using nicotine lozenges is eventually I'm going to have to quit the addiction to the nicotine as well. But right now, I'm just concentrating on resisting the urge to go out and buy a pack of cigarettes and light up a cigarette. There's a store right across the street from where I live that sells cigarettes. Um, but cigarettes are expensive. If I buy a pack of Newports or pretty much any other brand of cigarettes, it's like $13 in New York State for a pack of cigarettes. Most of that is probably tax money that the government charges. Um, there's, of course, cigarettes that I could buy from the Indian reservation, or I should say the Native American reservation, that people sell illegally out on the streets for about $4 or $5 a pack. I've done that before. But either way, I really need to quit smoking. My father was a heavy smoker, and he did quit smoking before he died. But I think by then it was kind of too late. He ended up dying um, from smoking related illnesses, including emphysema. And I don't want to get emphysema. I don't want to get into a position where I spend the last few years of my life dragging around an oxygen tank. So I have real motivation to quit smoking. The only drawback that I've noticed so far in trying to quit smoking is that whenever I don't have a cigarette, I eat a lot more food, which is very common for people who try to quit smoking. That instead of lighting up a cigarette, they tend to eat more food. In my case, more junk food. And so I'm putting on weight, which I don't want to do. But for now, that's more acceptable to me than damaging my lungs. I've had x-rays done on my lungs. There is some damage to my lungs, not to the point where I need oxygen or anything like that. But that's exactly the thing I want to avoid. Um, I've been told that I have chronic bronchitis because of my smoking cigarettes. I don't know if that's reversible or not. I'll have to ask my doctor, but I could certainly prevent it from getting any worse. Tobacco is a nasty drug. It's really very fucking damaging, and I'm really, really scared of dying young when I don't have to from cigarette smoking. Of course, it's possible that I've already caused damage to my lungs, that in a year, 2 years, 3 years, I'll get lung cancer. There's no way of predicting that sort of thing. So far, I've had x-rays of my lungs done. I don't have lung cancer. I suppose it's always possible that that could pop up later because I've been smoking cigarettes for so long. There's no guarantee in anything, even if I quit smoking. But there's no reason to increase the odds and make my lung damage even worse. And I'm less scared of lung cancer than I am of the emphysema. I'm not sure why. Maybe because the emphysema just kind of reminds me of slowly dying from slow suffocation, because that's essentially what smoking cigarettes is. You're dying slowly by suffocating yourself to death by taking in a puff of every cigarette, which contains like 6,000 different poisonous chemicals, not the least of which is carbon monoxide, among formaldehyde and 1,000 million other different poisonous chemicals. It's not uncommon for somebody with schizophrenia to be a heavy smoker. It's not easy for anyone to quit. I think it's even more difficult for a person with schizophrenia to quit smoking. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The statistics are that people with schizophrenia, 80% of them are smokers, and they're much more likely to die 20 years younger than the non-schizophrenic. And one of those reasons is because of tobacco. It's not the only reason, but it's one of the main reasons. Other reasons a schizophrenic might die 20 years younger is things like suicide, alcoholism, homelessness, poverty, that kind of thing. I don't need to increase my chances of dying early by smoking cigarettes. Eventually, the weight that I've gained is something I want to try to prevent from gaining any more, at the very least, and losing weight. But right now, I'm just concentrating on quitting smoking. It's like one thing at a time. There's a lot of things that triggers me to want to have a cigarette, and that's especially true when I'm under stress, I'm under high anxiety. The ironic thing about smoking cigarettes is when you're anxious, is, for me at least, if I'm anxious and I light up a cigarette to relieve the anxiety, then I immediately start feeling anxious about causing damage to my lungs and dying early. So smoking cigarettes doesn't really reduce anxiety for me. It just makes anxiety even worse because in the long term or the short term, I'm just causing myself to die younger, which causes anxiety. I'm an atheist. I don't have any religious beliefs about what happens to me after death. That doesn't mean I want to die young. And if I'm coughing, that's because my lungs are starting to clear out all the junk that smoking cigarettes leaves behind. It's natural if you quit smoking for your lungs to try to start clearing out all the shit that you have collected in your lungs from smoking cigarettes. So I've been struggling with tobacco for a long time. I did quit one time for about 5 years. Then my girlfriend at the time died from HIV, and I picked up smoking again. And I've been sort of smoking since then. It was about 21 years ago. My girlfriend died from HIV is a completely different story. And no, I don't have HIV myself, which is kind of an interesting fact because when we first found out she had HIV, we had no idea that she had HIV when I was with her for the first year and a half, 2 years. So the fact that I didn't contract HIV is a bit lucky. I hesitate to use the word miracle because I don't believe in God. But that's a video for another time. So I'm lucky that I didn't get HIV, and there's no reason to increase the likelihood of my death by continuing to smoke cigarettes. So I'm going to continue to try to stay off cigarettes. I may continue to overeat and gain weight. I don't know. I try to modify what I eat. At least if I'm going to eat more, and eat more healthy. But I guess that's all for now. Struggling with tobacco. Wish me luck. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Press the notification bell to know when I put out new videos. And if you want me to do a video on a specific topic, let me know in the comments section.